Alright, welcome back. It's another day, and today I need to work on the fund manager, but this time using tweens. We have technically code that is currently grayed out that works for the fund manager, but I didn't like how I set it up, requiring two functions for everything. But now with the tweens, we can try not needing any of those. I need to double check tweens that they have some kind of function for next tween or skip tween. Um, use timescale, oops, parallel, pause mode, and set timer to sleep. I guess no later. Okay, so there's a signal for step finished, which I don't think I like. How do I even get this signal? Okay. This, I don't know what function would make the most sense for running a tween, waiting until a specific condition is met, and then doing the next tween. But I think there might be a way to do it. So we want to do the knockdown because this is the one that's going to be a little bit iffy because it needs a second condition change. Dot. What the hell is it? Let's grab this. Just in here. Okay, first off, immediately set the speed. Yep, this is incorrect. Let's go with 0 and x, comma, and then 200 is what I have set for the other value. And in the commented markup right here, where we got default knockdown as speed of 0 to 100. The duration then also should be something pretty long. So let's start with this. Let's go with these continued. Okay. Then the next one we want time for 99 frames. So I want to use the function getTime and give it 99 frames. Yep. Okay. And then this one will just stop there. Okay. Alright. That's cool. But the question is, how does the Sun Manager get the between? He's trying to use the same tween for animations and stuns. Okay, let me think about how that would work. If I am a stunned person, sorry, no, if I'm starting an attack animation with a tween, I would be moving. If I get hit during it, I would set the value for is stunned. Then if I'm hit again, I would reset the value to is stunned to still be true. Once I run through all of the things in the tween, I should stop being stunned. But that might not be the thing that actually decides that. Okay, that's one way we could do changing stun. Okay. So that's the knockdown. But then what? Hmm. How do I use this thing's signal? Is this something I can do? Can I call a signal like that? So that's a strange way to get zoomed in. How much? Oh, stop that. Oh my god. There we go. Option. Okay, so when the dot is finished, that's not a thing we can do. So I can't change if it's finished. Um, so I have to manually connect the signal to something in code. Okay, well, let's try doing the knockdown stun then. Just trying to see what happens right now. Okay. It hits the ground, as kind of expected. Then what I can do is if stunned, if current type equals stun type dot default knockdown colon if is if host dot is on for start the stun. It takes an attack data. I don't think start did. Okay, interesting. This is where it might actually be better to use the continue stun for the knockdown. So then let's individually remove some specific lines. Okay. First off, we don't have that because we're tweening. This seemed about as big, but yeah. Knockdown does the same thing pretty much. It doesn't have anything to do with it. Let's do the air stun now. That's the continue function. These two values. I really don't know why it's not letting me get the value. So probably something like this. Hard code this value to this. Hard code this value as well. And remaining duration 30. But run it. That is incorrect because this is not negative. And you're now 300. You're now 50 times some direction. Dot x. And you're going way too far. Oops. For the other ones, we have this. Does it keep momentum? No. That's a little upsetting. Also, don't I have a little code to enable it when it gets hit? Okay. Yeah, so it does the sum, but it doesn't. It just sticks like that. Is 300 really that high? Oh wait, this isn't. That isn't correct. This one doesn't matter as much, but this one it actually does. So get velocity extra bracket, and I need a vector 2 here. Displacement vector, sun direction, and time frames. Should it be the same for this one? Probably. Where are you dead? There we go. Run it. Yeah. Oh, what happened? Okay. velocity vectors. You have to start the tween in 0 seconds. I should get to the velocity. Which is better done like this. That should set it, hopefully, well. That's what the block is doing and what the attack is doing. Okay, that is not enough. Let's comment here to see if that actually is the first problem. Yep. So let's go do that. Okay, so that's the second portion of this video problem. So the same property, we get the distance, on direction, and duration, and then get the duration again. Time. Okay. Distance, stun direction, duration, and duration again. Why are we having a problem? Let's see. I'm not sure why this would be a problem, but it is a problem. Since it's working here, why is it not working here? These are both integers, so let's put 0.0, since the rest of them are called and considered floats. We're dividing by 0, aren't we? Oh, multiplying by 0? What is it? It goes fine. Though we're not exactly what it should. But then it just flies and disappears immediately. What if I do that? Okay. How about if I do this? It's still going. the first time it should activate. Still moves in that direction, which is fine. I think. A little, maybe. No, I'm never so sure. Yeah, it might be easier to just continue with the basic error. Here's translate not done, then we set the speed, the velocity to actually be 0. Okay. Yeah, this one's not working as much, so I might want to hard code it. Just do the other continue stun. Slide them down. Let's see, you guys are talented. There is no start here, which just sets the velocity and the direction. It genuinely works well here. It's kind of setting velocity at speed. Since I set velocity, it's more of a jump rather than a um, more of a jump rather than than setting the speed and continuing with speed. I think that's maybe one of the reasons why it was in the regular stun set velocity here rather than set speed. So I would actually just want this to be the single tween if I did try again. Total comments. Velocity, vector type, stun direction, and 300 for the vector. Tween property is purple everything. But interpolate value. There is a thing to import see nicer. But the problem is that it would actually go to 300 based on how I've done it, I think. Or would it? How do I change the tween type? And I want to also change the stuff here. Use out cubic. What else? Guess I need a transition type. No. Okay. They're not nice enough. And I don't like this, so I'm gonna go back this. That mix is probably fine. It's not as pleasant. It gets the job done. Uh, What else is there? Ooh, that's the default. That's the knockdown, the airborne, but not the launch type, which we had here. Okay, for the launch type, we hard coded it as well. And this one also shows in the one. Oh, it's because the time of frame is 0. I was trying to do for the default error. Wait, no, that makes no sense. Well, for this, it's like a 30. Get 30, it's just 30. Is this where the problem was? Okay. Yeah. Got like, I don't think that's what I want. Let me put 150 in here. Too much. This is continuous and not, which is where the problem, one of the problems came from. Yeah, no, this is not good this way. It's not instantaneous in a jump format, which is where the main thing that actually matters. Continuous done. This thing. Key faults. And it's back. Continue for errors also going to be back now. Trying to start here. This thing and go here. Errors back. Now I need to actually do the stun type. So it's not setting velocity, but it is setting the speed, so I will use a tween. That takes in these parameters. First off, this is the next closest. So do this, copy this vector, and put in those spots, and put 10 here. Right, launch. it doesn't set the X to 0. Momentum is okay. The problem is it has to stop on ground. I think, at least. Does it stop moving to the side? And just park balls? Yeah, that's bad. I don't like that. Is there a tween for the air type? No. Remaining duration, sure, but why is it stopping in the air? Why is that hard stopping in the air? It's fine. It's supposed to stop velocity X, but I don't actually like that. Now let's use post dot is grounded. Okay. It post is on for sure, but they're not. That's not how it works. Okay, this is a force end stun. Like with this, does it have any problems with other types of stuns? I mean, that is fine on the air ground. Why stop it from moving after it lands on the ground? It just changes to grounded like, immediately, and then it should. I would want it to stop. Okay, not sure how I want to end that. Maybe that's why I had the X component just stop being an annoyance. just continues going, which is an annoyance. It doesn't stop immediately. Why does it not stop immediately? We set the velocity, it doesn't get set again. Okay, well, we made the sun's shortening lines of code for some of them, and made it longer in others, but now we have less checks needed as well. First one, a lot set, but then when we hit the ground, it's still set to 50. Is a little annoying. For the launch, it's also similar in a way, where it's set to 100. That is right. That's a problem. The arcs make sense, but how do I remove the x component of velocity for being on the floor and not having an input? I'm doing it in the stun manager where it should just be a default thing. I'm checking that manager to see what everyone doing for this. All my inputs are kind of used. What's the difference between a player who just got knocked out of the air and a player who's not doing anything? If they both have inputs of nothing, which they kind of do both have inputs of nothing. Where's input target axis? Mm, I do not know where the best spot to put the player to be forced to stop moving when no inputs are happening. But also, if no inputs are happening, that means just I'm getting a 5 on numpad. But it's not here. So then what should I do? Does the input manager set my velocity to 0 somewhere? Is that what's happening? Because when I stop moving, I stop having velocity. Yeah, input direction is carrying. Okay. And then in the movement component, there's the that part. Okay, let's take that, go to the hardware player, and just put it in the script. Edit that. Now I'm moving X or Y, which is another problem. Here's the solution. If they're not stunned and on the floor, don't give them the ability to move, right? Or is that wrong? What was wrong here? And I can't move. Wait, what? No, I'm permanently considered stunned. Okay, that's a problem. So if it's not stunned and on the floor, or just on the floor, that means the player will get stopped. If we're on the floor and nothing is pressed, there's anything pressed equals this. That is a true question. Okay, let's see what happens if I launch it and am holding a direction. Just anything. Okay, it stops the moment I stop pressing something, which is better, but it's just, ugh. Maybe I give it a dumb component that's like stay still on ground. I don't know. It's really dumb. Okay, let me go to the Fund Manager and clear out some to-dos. So these two things I think aren't better. Launch type stun is done. Have an option for animation type stuns, not yet. Fix the tween error. The only problem now is this doesn't really work well. So I'll put at the top, enter hashtag to do, make a new frame to have the rectangle player stop when on ground and no input and velocity is not than on ground, so it stops lighting. I don't know why it's still lighting after we get the velocity to stop being set. Also, why does it apply for both attack types? I don't think override is on. Is it alright on? Where'd it go? Alright, that's another problem. How did override really do that? I didn't find them. Why did it not work on air? I didn't see the problem that's happening. When air override is on. Is it just going too far? No, it's just going up and up and up. It should only be for 10 frames. Or is velocity just not working because gravity isn't being set again? And where is it set? Does this fix the problem about it not coming down? Yep. Doesn't fix the X direction problem for this time, but it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna end it here. We need to figure out how to deal with that, but otherwise the stuns are working properly. We've got our defaults and we have the customizable one that's just the basic one with a bunch of tween steps, which we can do with a forklift. Um, but I don't think I actually made a for loop for it, so I still need to do that. But do I need that? I don't know. Like straight line stun is probably fine for now. I'll put to list. Change basic stun to custom based on attack data extra. And I put a question mark because I don't actually know for sure. Because you got default air, default launch, default knockdown. So if we start making for loops for the basic ones, then we're gonna have a whole lot more stun types that we could work with. Especially wall bouncers. Like I'm very interested in seeing bouncers like that. Yeah, if we make it with custom, if we give them a custom function for attacks that's done, then the customization will allow the player to have the attack be the one thing that dictates pretty much everything. We got something currently working in the same vein for the attack manager, but I'm not sure if it would make the most sense for this directly. Also, there's something that I need to check for one of the resources that has stun stuff in it. I think it's the attack resource. The thing isn't the same anymore. Yeah, these are not the same as the stun managers names for them. So let me just copy and paste them. Animation slash grab. And then I can make a resource for the types of animations. Alright, I'm gonna end it and figure out things tomorrow. Bye bye.